And welcome to the bottom tables. If you've lost a lot, you're probably familiar with it.
So we are a queer, flesh and blood focused podcast. This is going to be our first episode. But my name is Jenna. I am local to the DMV area, and I've played a lot of card games throughout my life. But right now, Flesh and Blood is kind of the core game that I connect to, and that's actually how I met our my co-host, Bill.
I'm Bill. I'm also local to the same area. Flesh and Blood is definitely my main interest now, but I have just severe gamer dopamine issues, and I will try and touch everything made of cardboard. I've been doing it for a very long time now.
That makes sense based on both of our ages. We're kind of ingrained in card culture at our ages
right
nowadays. So what card games did you start with early on in Bill?
So I actually did start with Magic the Gathering really early on. Like, my fondest memory was taking Dakin Blackblade on vacation with me and taking little pictures of him like he was a little flat Stanley. But the card game...
yeah. Yo, it's my homeboy Dakin!
Yeah, this is why I had no bitches.
Did Richard Kane Ferguson do the art for Dakin?
I don't know.
I mean, Magic does seem to be a common start for a lot of gamers, but I have met a lot of people in Fab that this is actually like their first card game, which is it's kind of wild to me as someone who's been in the industry so long. But it's kind of nice and refreshing to have that perspective as well.
I think it makes a very good first card game because it has a lot of crossover with other things. Like, obviously, there's the Gorg Tome Fab is a fighting game video, which we'll link in the description. If you're at all interested in fighting games like we are, or card games, it's definitely worth a watch.
Although, like, the complexity of the game is, like, a lot higher than others, in my opinion. I mean, there are a lot of games that do have similar high levels of complexity, but I think it's in specific nuances and niches within it. It's very nice that the entry level to Fab kind of gets people in really well, and then kind of establishes it from there. But besides Fab, what other games did you kind of play over the years, Bill?
I was big into L5R back under Alderac for a very long time. I have the dubious honor of having my own card that I won by wearing a bathrobe at a LARP and tittering like a schoolgirl.
I mean, that's probably the best way to get one of those. What was the house that you played, or the clan?
I played everything. You know, I have a problem where I don't pick a main in anything. But
it does seem to come up a good bit. That does come up a good bit for you, dear.
Yeah, no, I don't. I've never picked a main. I don't believe in main.
Yeah, how about you? L5R was a good game. As expected, I am a basic bitch and played Phoenix Honor.
Well, that's okay. We can forgive you for that.
Just not my other sins. As Bill and I have personalities that are very similar to each other, I have a very eccentric type of outgoing type of, oh, I'm going to get canceled after one episode type of personality. But just like Bill, I played a lot of card games when I was young. I'm a 90s kid, so like when Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh popped off, I was like fucking locked in. I remember going to the 7-Elevens and harassing my friend Brandon's mom, who worked at the 7-Eleven, being like, listen, you got the new Pokemon. I need the Pokemon. I need those jungle packs. Like, I'm fiending. Poor 8-year-old Jenna just trying to get her fix. But I played a lot of card games over my career as well. Magic was like the first one that I really like dug my teeth into. It was mainly Magic, L5R, and I had a fondness with Duel Masters back in the day. Some of the other folks in the DMV area and I have chatted fondly about Duel Masters, but I actually went back in the day to like my first competitive like regional style event for a game called Kaijudo, which was just like a redux of it, and that kind of got me into liking competitive card games. But just like you had mentioned, Bill, playing a little bit of everything. I know both you and I also are enjoying Altered and a few other games at this moment. But yeah, there's just something special about Fab and the Fab community.
I gotta give a shout out to Altered. It fits a different place in the brain than Fab does, and in no way competes. I've seen a lot of people discussing the game like, well, it doesn't do what I want. No, it doesn't need to do what Fab does for you. It's not meant to. It's just a game where you hug your dog, not a game where you punch an eyeball out.
Yeah, and I think it works really well in that sense as well. I think games that really figure out their niche and do well with it have a good potential for the market. But I think the thing that's always like a big trouble when I think about card games is like, does it hit the metric of, hey, have we hit this 3-year mark and we can say we're not going to have a clusterfuck happen to us and then us go under? Like, some of my favorite games of all time have like hit that 3-year mark and then just be like, oh, we messed up real bad. One of the ones that I remember was Force of Will back in the day. Reflect Refrain like broke the game, and it's just like, guess we did that.
I got bit real bad when the Panini Dragon Ball got canceled. I had invested a lot in it. Like, I had started buying cases so I could sell singles and everything, and that cancelled.
Is it bad that I can't take the name Panini seriously?
It's so ridiculous.
Hey Panini, don't you be that meanie.
Like, hey, we get a Panini. Put our cards.
No, I just think of Little Nas, and I'm just like, oh, why? What is that song, Bob? It's something that it's like that weird focal point where you're like, this is a word that I'm just gonna stick to, and then it just completely messes up everything moving forward with that word.
Yeah.
Like, Panini is just one of those words where I'm like, well, I guess I'm fucked. So what are some of your notable achievements in Fab or in other games? You talked about, obviously, getting a card in L5R, but like what other achievements have you had?
I do reasonably well. I kind of pride myself on being mediocre. I don't like to practice hard, but I do like to perform middle of the pack. And I know this is just a call out so that you can make me say I made day 2 in Tampa.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Top 64.
Top 64 at the Rosetta World Premiere. Riding Florian all the way.
And there's only supposed to be one thing that's hard, Bill. And that's pitch stacking.
I don't believe in it.
It's so important, though.
Yeah, you know what?
Although I got fucked over by pitch stacking at Tampa. I'd set up for a Culling of the Fell or whatever that card is that comes in for like 8 and then just completely messes with the hand. I had it set up and they're like, yeah, I'm just going to present a ton of damage this turn. I'm like, you're not supposed to do this, please.
See, I don't believe in pitch stacking, and if there was a card that made you and your opponent shuffle your deck, and that's it, like, I'd run 3 of them and 3 Remembrance to get it back. We're on even.
Just a natural born fucking hater.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your pitch stack. Nice heart you've been tracking with, bitch.
Yep. Have fun being an idiot too.
So yeah, both Bill and I are people that are like, we like to have fun at the game. We like to play the competitive side. When we do well, it's great. But I think at the end of the day, like, and you'd probably agree with this pretty quickly, it's just vibing with people. It's having a good time. It's catching up with folks. Like, my best achievement that I've done in this game is qualifying for US Nats this year. It felt like a big fluke, but it is what let me meet a lot of people in the community and like really connect and really enjoy more of the people side of it and less of the, hey, I'm an illusionist player that just likes foils. Like, I can do more than that. I can meet people. I can chat with people. I can play horribly at US Nationals and then grind side events.
Grinding side events is the true GOAT. I'm not going to angle my camera at all, but you can see the bottom of my dashes up on the wall.
What part was that? What part was that of the dashes?
The bottom of the dashes.
Yeah, nice.
Well, she's not a top.
Well, this you'll find very quickly as well as I'm very immature. I'm a 32-year-old woman with the brain of like a 14-year-old boy. But Tampa was fun. We drove down for Tampa.
Yeah, we drove from the DMV to Tampa. It was 15 hours on the way down and 17 hours on the way back. And
it was rough.
Still hurts.
Listen, shout out to your daughter for being such a trooper with the trip. Like, absolutely goated for being able to get through that trip as like a 7 or 8 year old. Like, I'm 32 and mentally was breaking.
Yeah, we've. I don't want to say we've taught her resilience, but she's been really good. I was really impressed with her, and she deserved a little vacation before the start of the school year.
Absolutely. It was a fun trip overall. I think the only thing that really got me besides the car ride was the impending arrival of Buc-ee's. I did not realize how hard people went on Buc-ee's.
Yo, Buc-ee's is the best.
If you are part of the Rainbow Foils Discord, you might have seen some stuff related to Buc-ee's from the trip. But I'm pleasantly surprised at how much of a nice gas station that is. Like, it's a gas station Walmart. I did not know why there were so many card players that I'd see at places like with Buc-ee's shirts.
It's the best. And they have my favorite cups. They have the Silipints there, but with a little Buc-ee logo on them.
The fact that they pay their employees like actual decent livings is like fucking wild. Yeah. Like, I looked at the rates outside, I was like, God damn.
If you live near a Buc-ee's, look up working there. Like, if you get a general manager position, it's like $185,000 a year. Like, they're really taking care of their employees.
And everyone was like super happy there. Like, I walked in, they're like, welcome to Buc-ee's. And I was like, Jesus Christ, people. But the cinnamon rolls were pretty goated.
They do not kick you out if you take a shirtless photo.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Although you might mortify the people around you.
Including your daughter.
Well, she hid when it was taken. But, yeah, it was, like, super interesting there. Because, like, I had someone that wanted me to look for something there. And, like, I went up to a lady and was like, hey, do you guys have this, like, Halloween-like stuff? Like, I showed her a picture of it, and I was like, it's the little guy holding a pumpkin. They're like, little guy, you mean Bucky? I was like, God damn, they're locked the fuck in. But yeah, that was like a super pleasant like surprise about going down on the trip. Was like, besides the camaraderie on the car ride, was like, I did not realize that this cult of Bucky was actually like value added and like important.
Yes, it is. It is truly the best road trip stop, and it gets you
the best a girl can get.
All right.
Yeah, like I even with the length of the ride, I don't think it felt long because it was like conversation, hyperfixation for 45 minutes, conversation, hyperfixation for an hour.
Well, this happens when you get two people that have wild ADHD in a car together.
Being on the spectrum definitely does that. I think I only went into Scooby-Doo rants like twice.
Well, yeah, but that's because it's fun to prompt you.
It is. It's like a low ball pitch. It's just like, let's make this woman have joy for the next 30 minutes and do minimal work. Here's Scooby-Doo. Let's talk about the 1969 to 1971 series. But yeah, that was...
I was going to say, one of the other highlights of the trip was the porn palace.
The Lions Den?
No, the Airbnb.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were just talking about, like, how every other sign going through the Bible Belt was like, Jesus, 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 Adam and Eve.
Well, that's just beautiful. They're celebrating procreation in the name of the Lord in the manner that he ascribed it, with ball gags and cat o' nine tails.
I don't know. I drove when we were driving through there. I was like, all these people probably only do missionary.
But they do missionary with a butt plug, so it's okay.
That's fair. They're doing the Lord's work. Yeah, the Airbnb was really interesting. Like, it was owned by an artist, I think, so it had like a super trippy vibe to it. But I've never seen a living room that big, and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers probably put swings in here.
Yeah, it was an art loft, and you can like imagine an art loft where everything is like pop colors and everything. There's neon everywhere, but everything is tiled, and there's a wet room.
There's a spaceman trying to take a poop.
There was a spaceman trying to take a poop. There was a hot tub we never actually got to use.
No, we were too tired every night. And then I think I was just weirded out that every single room had a bed and like a small chair. And I'm like, My man did not need to put the Sneeko chair in every room. Like, this does not feel necessary. But then, like, I go into my room. The thing has a sink and a freaking mirror above the bed. And I'm just like, well, this is great for doing my makeup in the morning, thinking nothing else about anything else at that point.
Oh my god, I didn't even go upstairs. I slept
Yeah,
upstairs, so there was an entire floor between us because I snore like the dead.
Yeah, you do snore pretty rough, my guy.
We got,
but like, I couldn't hear it from the second floor.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a fun thing, and it kind of dovetails into one of the things I learned about this trip. A, it's better when you do it with friends. B, don't bring a bunch of shit to do after hours.
Yeah, we didn't have time for any of that shit.
Yeah. We brought a bunch of...
We had to figure out how to fucking giraffe the set at 10 o'clock at night.
So I accidentally made day 2, right? And instead of getting a big card, I bought a box of cards so that we could all sit in the Airbnb and practice drafting. And Jenna and our 2 other roommates were helping me, and we were just passing pack, you know.
Old folks crew, let's go.
I have never been so wrong about every card I picked in my life.
Yeah, but it also doesn't help that Casey kept literally every single time being like, Dave, you're going to draft Lightning Wizard. I'm going to signal you every time to force you to draft Lightning Wizard.
He really did absolutely force it.
Isilio is so much fun, though.
I know.
Like,
that was my second pod for day 2, was Isilio, and it was a blast.
And you 2 won your second pod, right?
Yeah.
No, like, I feel like if you get a good... I feel like if you get a good density of sigils and, like, low reds, you can fucking pop off.
Yeah. And really, I think, like, the sneaky things you want to get there is, like, one of the Comet Shock. You don't want to send a Comet, you just want to kill them in their turn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just having a ping for 1 as well, like, when you know that they've put all into, like, a big attack and they can't use their Sanctuary or something like that if they've saved it for late. It's also very interesting with, like, having the ability to be like, I can cycle things from my hand if I can't block. And then also getting the value of, like, hey, I'm just going to somersault 2 things back to my hand. And you know what? If it's a red one and I somersault back a Fighting Spirit, that's freaking gas. Gain a little bit of life, swing gain life. What's not to love?
Somersaulting Fighting Spirit was probably the thing I did most.
Yeah, I tried to do that in a draft the other day, and then I was like, oh, I drafted blue somersault. Yeah. That didn't work well. That did not work well doing that. But, like, the limited format's super fun. I think I played at least 12 rounds every day. I ate shit at the calling, so I lived up to the naming at convention. I went 1-3 drop, and I was like, peace. I'm going to play side events, get tickets, pull things, sell them, rinse and repeat. But, like, damn. There are some things with this format that just feel like gas. Like, after that first event in the first day, like, realizing how strong Florian is,
yeah,
especially for sealed, was just like, oh, this is a thing.
And Florian is so good. My calling pool didn't have any M's in it. Like, it was just good red cards, and I was like, all right, send it.
I mean, sometimes that's just what you have to do. Like, I felt so, like, pulled all over the place with my pull. Because, like, I had, I think it's, like, magnetism or magnetism. The 1 for 5 that lets you get, like, a Spellbound Creeper effect on it to play like, things fucking gas. Yeah. It's so good for lightning. Doesn't matter which one you're in. It's just solid. Like, Isilio, okay, I'll play a wizard thing. I'll get arcane damage as well. Like, oh, I'm going to do something for, like, Aurora. I'll just play a non-attack action, get something back, or, like, just create a new thing and get an action point. Like, it's fucking baller. My problem is all my all my cards for frickin' lightning sucked. Everything else was like, you want sigils? Ah, here's 4 sigils of Feyendal. Oh, you want nice low to the ground reds? Nah, you ain't getting that shit.
Yellow fry. You're gonna eat 6 yellow fries.
I tried to do that back in the day with Uprising. I had a deck that had, like, all yellow except for, like, 4 cards in red, and I'm like, this is going to be the worst deck I've ever drafted. Secret is, it actually wasn't. I've actually drafted a worse deck for Olympia, where I just drafted every card that had like 6 attack or more, and I didn't have wager.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that didn't go well. I think I would have won too. But like the venue was really nice in Tampa. Like I was pleasantly surprised. I think the only thing that I like really hated about it was how hot it was.
Yes. But
like the heat was unbearable.
Stink. It was hot.
It was. It was extremely hot, and then it also didn't feel fair leaving on Friday from the event and being like, why the fuck are all these hot people out? I felt like so out of place. I'm like, oh, this person's drop dead gorgeous. This person's drop dead gorgeous. Whereas little old me's just like, let's get
Hey guys, we're coming back from the card game. And it's just like Latin dance night at 2 clubs in a row. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The music, like when you'd be walking around like late at night and you just hear music from the cars going by, it was bumping. Like it was a very fun experience.
Least fun experience was taking one of those rental scooters and then eating shit.
I forgot about that. Didn't you fuck up your knee pretty bad with that?
Yeah. Fucked it up. I scraped both my hands pretty bad. And like, I was going maybe like 10 or 15 miles an hour, and it wasn't that bad. But because I jumped off of it and tried to roll into it, this like elderly man looks at me and he goes, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I'm just hop up.
You're like,
yeah, I'm okay.
No, I'm a veteran and I'm down.
I'll never recover.
I'll never financially recover from this. I mean, that's kind of how I felt until I started pulling well at the event was, dear Lord, my wallet. I started pulling like a motherfucker, and then I was just like, hey, who wants to buy this shit? So I like sold
so much shit.
I sold so much shit there that I ended up buying a playset of Cold Foil Genesis, the remaining Cold Foil like Mercifuls that I needed, and then like I ended up getting one of the Printon behind me. Got one of those, and then I got a Vin Sarakai one as well, and I was like, I didn't have to spend much money this trip because I just sold all the cards I pulled.
This is the price of success. I was too busy playing games for forever.
Yep. That flesh and blood is a fickle mistress, as they say.
Right. So how do you feel about Rosetta in general? Like, big format, limited format?
Limited seems like really fresh. Like, sealed a little bit more difficult, in my opinion, just because sealed is always sealed. Yeah. Like, there's nothing that really will fundamentally fix the problem of how sealed works. I think the move to 8 packs has been more helpful over the last 2 sets from a limited standpoint, but like just the cards in general feel very solid. Like the synergy that they have, the gameplay that they have, just like a lot of the deck construction and thought process that's been going on with it as well has been really interesting. But like, I had a lot of fun with limited in the set. Like drafting this is so nice.
Our pre-release draft where there were 5 lightning people in a row and no one would get off lightning, despite the fact that we all were talking about.
You knew I was on a Cilio bill.
Oh, that was
the only one that figured that out was Julian. That's also because Julian's a good player.
I like that Julian has like classically said he's the worst at limited ever, and it made the pod look like we fed him Earth so he could get a confidence boost.
Get that article out being like how to draft like a pro. I love Julian. He's such a sweetheart.
He is. We are very spoiled in this area because we have very nice people who are also
and a lot of fun players. Yeah, like just a lot of solid people, and then we have a good crew from PA that comes down. That's really nice. Like we get
Virginia
a lot of
up. Like we're very well located. Speaking of that, people should come to the Rosetta Sealed Battleheart in DC. It's not actually in DC; it's just outside of it. But
Yeah, it's at the Dulles Expo Center, right?
Yeah.
I will give people a heads up. If they go there, there's a trippy Lego shop next door. I wasn't sure how I felt about it, and then I was even less sure once I saw a self-immolation Lego going on. It's like a Lego war store. There's there's good food around that area though, but Lego store is very interesting.
Memories of Lego self-immolation.
Yeah, every time I'm like going there, I'm like, oh yeah, there's the racist Lego store.
Holy shit.
Because it's not like a licensed Lego store, and I'm like, okay, well, I get that it's like tailored to army stuff, and I'm like, really like dealing with the concept of war that much, like, so that when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, this is just Jenna's internal worry. But I think a lot of people will come. I think the format will be fun. I had a really good time watching the battle hardened, I believe it was Sydney over the weekend. Like, I was super surprised at how things turned out with that as well. Like, I think the format feels a little bit more open than I expected. I felt like after seeing a bunch of people write things up, it's like, oh, Enigma's going to be really good. Florian's going to be really good. Got like these 3S class heroes and a bunch of solid A's. And I'm like, how the hell did we get 2 Kanos in the finals? And it's just like, yeah, open the floodgates is a thing. Kind of a card.
It's pretty cool. I always like when medals are Wild Westy because it means people can play their pocket picks and do their fun things and still find moderate success.
And like just the synergy between a lot of the new cards as well is just really cool. Like being able to have like an embodiment out and then swing with Gone in a Flash, move to Resolution, play the lightning instant that gives +3 to your next attack, bounce it back post resolution or during the link step, play it again for 7, so that's like a 2 for 11.
Yeah,
it feels really nice.
Gone in a Flash is one of the coolest cards in the set.
And then you pair it with Lightning Greaves and it's just like crack, 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 and then your opponent's hopefully dead.
That's one thing. I think Aurora has been the most fun of them. I know he's the Cilio fun. I love Florian. I like big bonking with lots of rune chants. But Aurora makes you feel like you're playing Dash, but with the ability to do stuff instead of just boost.
Her specialization is like disgusting and limited as well. Yeah. Because you go play specialization, crack your hands for a rune chant, take 1 from Go Again, crack your chest piece to turn that into a resource, take 1 from Go Again, use that 1 either for your weapon or come in with like meet and greet, and you just get so much value there. It's just so crazy. Right. Or you come in with something that doesn't have a Go Again, like the 1 for 5 lightning that when you hit you get an embodiment. Like the card is just gas.
It's even better when paired with Channel Lightning Valley, because it just turns you're just like, oh, I'm gonna keep going again and going again.
Just do it 45 silvers, right?
Yep.
Crack silver, crack silver, crack silver. I saw a video like that. I was like, oh shit, we're cooking, baby.
It's the dumbest meme, but I love it.
I was excited to see Death Scythe, is it? The majestic Runeblade weapon from Monarch being used.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's cool. Yeah, Dread Scythe. I was like, okay, this card has some of the coolest art in the game, and it's also like, hey, I'm just going to do damage.
People are really...
I'm just going to present a consistent 4 at you.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because they were also playing the Blessings package, and, like, I know some folks have put out videos on it regarding fatigue. Fino just dropped a good one today. I think it was today or yesterday on that. We'll link that one as well. It's a super beneficial video on like the concept of fatigue within a meta and it actually coming back in full. Like my main like time when I started to get competitive in this game was with Oldhim, and I lost my brain and it felt like Jello so many times, but it didn't help I was on Dromai.
I just conceded to Oldhim. I was like, you know what? I don't have the time to figure this match out.
I don't know if that's the higher. I think that might be the high road. Like, I'm just not going to play Oldhim anytime I see it.
Yep.
But like, I do think Rosetta is in a good place. I think it's a lot better than where things were with MST. Like, it's kind of crazy when your weakest hero in a set is an illusionist.
Right.
Like, which is wild.
Yeah, I think really enjoyed MST. I went to the premiere. It was fun and limited. And then the
season... Are you Nihongo Jozu?
My Nihongo was very Jozu. I got Jozu'd so much. People were very nice. It was a great time.
Because you can speak it well. Whereas if I get Nihongo Jozu'd, it's like, this person has said more than like 4 words correctly.
Well, typically,
I will shout out though from the Calling Tampa. It was really nice meeting some of the folks from like the Japanese crew and some of the folks I think from Singapore. Some really cool people. Really nice just meeting folks at Tampa. I think that's why big events are also fun. Is you get to try out the format, you get to meet cool people, you get to have a good time. So big shout out to the Japanese crew. Big shout out to Queer crew and the folks that get to see at these events.
You might say that's the biggest achievement of Flesh and Blood
are the friends you've made along the way
in the Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, my flesh is very beaten up from tattoos. There was a lot of blood.
Getting rid and haggard and not taking care of itself.
Well, that's what happens when you become a gamer that's over like 30 or 35.
Right.
Like, I remember in early things, it was like, oh my gosh, there's older people at these events. And now I'm just like, it's me.
You can tell, like, one of the things I like about Fab is that it is an older crowd. So I don't feel as bad where I'm like, we're going to have a couple beers and then go to sleep before midnight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for other card games, I had to go pre-drinking before big tournaments for them to be fun.
Yeah.
We would pre-game before Magic pre-releases. We'd go and get like mimosas and stuff, and then we would go and play Magic and be like, listen, if we can 3-0 or 2-1 at this state, we're unstoppable. But like, out of the Rosetta cards and like the things that have shown up in like Rosetta, what things are you excited about to like see? I know for folks' context, although Bill does jump around from a lot of different classes, big mechanologist guy. Yeah. As you can probably tell from the background.
Yeah. Big mechanologist. I love Brute. It doesn't matter, even if I'm not playing Brute, people just identify me as like the big smash guy.
Well, you are a Marylander, and Maryland is like Brute.
Well, yeah, you crack your crabs with a big old hammer.
It's like so close to like having like a crab hero. And speaking of crabs, every time I get the Wawa pretzels, I get the, like, they got this little like seam in the middle. I'm just like, crack him like a crab. But I digress.
I'm really excited for Splatter Skull.
Yo, Splatter Skull is fucking dope.
I don't know if it moves the needle fully on Reinar, and I don't really give a shit. I'm going to play it.
Because it's like, oh, I've intimidated something. It's just like, but did I? It's gone. I have a very, very strong opinion on cards in the set. There's a lot of really good cards in my opinion, but I am such a sucker for Truce. Like, I think Truce is a phenomenal card. I got it on lockdown, baby. I got mine from Dave.
Yeah.
Like, besides being a basic illusionist simp and someone who likes assassin as well and kind of stays within those realms, like, Truce just feels like a really good card. I don't think it really has a home for someone like Enigma right now, nor does it really feel like it has a home for Prism and CC, because although it is a blue block 3, it's not white. But like Living Legend, being like, oh yeah, I'm just going to play out some auras, ping, 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 drop a Truce, let's have fun.
Right.
Or like play a bunch of Dromai stuff, Truce, be like, either give me a card and take my Chromai, or you don't attack, we both gain 3 life, and then I'll get that back from you by playing a red card very easily. Or you attack me instead of my dragons, and I still draw a card.
Yeah. I think Truce is a super good card, and exactly, we were talking about that in Tampa, how it's really good in Dromai.
I mean, a lot of people are really excited for Call from the Grave. That card is nuts.
I I want to see people use it be nuts first. Like, because I understand it, and I trust the people that are excited about it, right? Like, Mansant's excited about it. He's got to be right. But I want to see it in action.
Hey, this is Bill from the future. I just want to say that was a stupid take. That card is busted. Listen to people who know better than you.
I think the fact that there's versatility with it, with someone like Levia, is really nice because not only is it like, hey, I can put Beast Within, right?
Yeah.
I can put Beast Within into the bin and then get that trigger. I can put Back Alley in and get an action point. I can put Mark of the Beast in to turn off Blood Debt. I can put something in there to then set up a banish effect. I think that is really cool as well because you can just put something there, be like, okay, I get my third thing that I need to banish. I get a guaranteed on my my big boy attack, and then I get to do stupid things from there. I think it's like a pseudo like art of. I think it's like Art of War level for them, but like I'd have to talk to some of the Levia players that I know, like Trevor. But I know Trevor has been excited about it as well. I just don't like Brute as an illusionist player. That's me. That's my own bias. That's me not wanting to learn how to play the matchup and consistently go at the bottom tables.
You don't have to learn anything. All you need to know is 6.
Oh, yeah. Just no 6.
Yeah. I've never had to learn.
Actually, 6 and 2. The 2 is important. I keep forgetting about the freaking defense reaction and dying because I have 2 life and didn't go to 3.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go to 2. And I'm just like, Jenna, you've had this happen how many times? Why are you doing this in a tournament that matters? It's like, you're right, previous Jenna.
You know, every time you go to 2, they have it.
Oh, 100%. That's like the turn that you know that they can blow up your helm. They're going to have Tumultai.
It's like, you know the Brood has it when they block really weird. Like, you're blocking with a Blood Rush? What's going on here?
I'm fucked if you're blocking with the Blood Rush.
Yeah, I'm blocking so that I have no misses, damn it.
Yeah, it's wild. And, like, there are some characters that I think, like, they're not fully there yet, but I do like where things are progressing with them. Like, I'm so excited for Betsy getting some cool stuff. I picked up a Japanese Marvel one at Tampa. Shout out, Ricky. Like, it was really, like, yo, Betsy's going to be doing some bets. Got that alliteration name going on. Let's go. And it's like...
Table's a good card.
It's so good. But the problem is, like, I feel like the red count for the deck is very unique. And it's also like, well, we don't have consistent gold making yet in the deck, in my opinion. It's just like, yeah, Good Time Chapeau is like a freaking great card for her. But I think she's going to probably have a little bit more time to shine when the Mastery set comes out, a.k.a. Bright Lights, but not Bright Lights.
Right, Guardian Bright Lights.
But I'm excited for it. I think this is a fun format. Like, all the matches that I watched were really fun. Like, watching Verdance do some, like, crazy stuff where it's just like, oh, I'm going to set up for these big turns with, like, rampant growth. That was really fun to watch. Just watching Florian do, like, I'm systematically going to approach this where I'm getting ready for the second cycle. It feels very, like, Guardian-like, which is cool. But it's nice seeing a lot of these cards kind of get their value in the set and kind of have that explorative, like, time frame. It doesn't feel like, hey, we just released this set and then everyone's not going to reveal stuff because Nats isn't.
Right. Which, you know, we still may be seeing that because Worlds is in a month. So we may be seeing...
Oh my God, you're right. Holy crap.
We may be seeing everybody's B-tier decks.
The secret deck of the format is Riptide. I mean, I would not have a problem with Riptide being, like, really solid. Like, just watching him play with some of the newer stuff from the last few sets has been a blast.
If Ripper wins Worlds, I'll eat a hat.
What type of hat? We talking like a ball cap?
No. The new one from Rosetta that looks dumb. The little William Tell boy.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were talking about eating real hat.
No.
Because I'm like, that's kind of some heavy material, Bill.
It's a more high fiber than I need in my life.
I do need fiber, so that might be needed for me.
Well, cook you a hat.
I feel like I'd probably eat a MAGA hat because I don't want to deal with that shit. But
You don't want that in your
yeah, that's probably not good for my digestive system
or your soul.
Yeah, that's also true. Maybe like a beanie would be fine.
I
Like
think the only
put
thing
it
you
put
can
in a
do is,
soup.
like a straw fedora. Like, I think that is something.
Chips fedora into mouth, milady. I did like all the merch though at Tampa. Shout out to the merch hero himself, Andy Portillo. Like the shirts were so good. But my big question is like, we've had t-shirts, we've had playmats, we've had sleeves, we've had the Stanley Cups, we've had socks. When are we getting like
underwear?
Flesh and blood underwear.
Yep.
Flunderwear. It's a reasonable question. Like, who doesn't want to roll up and be like, yo, I got the Bravo boxers on?
All right. Before next week, we're going to come up with the best Flesh and Blood underwear. Feel free to send in your suggestions for Flesh and Blood underwear at always@thebottomtables@gmail.com. And if your idea is stupid enough, we'll show it.
So I do think the format is going to be fun. I mean, I'm excited to just jam more Enigma. I love Enigma to death. She's like super fun. The deck just feels really solid right now. We get to take out certain cards that felt a little clunkier because Zen's not in the meta right now. I get to play more pet cards that I think will be good into to other matchups. So that's pretty fun. But Bill, were you excited about any of the new heroes?
I mean, I'm not excited about all of them, unfortunately. I'm putting time in on Florian and Aurora, and also on Vincent, because I really wanted Spiky Goth Mommy to be good when Dusk Till Dawn came out, and I think she's hit a critical mass of good shit.
Oh my gosh, like, oh, I'm going to sacrifice the rune chant that I play to get 3 of them to immediately play my 6. Trigger the rune chants, get the guaranteed on hit effect. Yeah, it's kind of gas. The Vincent that I saw on camera at Sydney was like it looked really fun.
But I'm also really excited for the Dash Armory deck.
Oh my gosh, that freaking piece that's just like, I'm gonna draw a card. That thing's busted.
Here's my worry. Everyone's gonna be prepared for Dash. And like in a high fatigue meta, it's real hard to kill someone twice if you're boosting away your deck.
Secret tech, come on. Don't play Dash.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, I guess you could play like OG Slab, and Slab might do better into it.
Oh, she's about to LL anyway.
That is true. She does have a good bit of points. Yeah. And then like in Blitz, I'm like so sad because in Blitz it's just like, I think it's like barely any more wins. Like probably 1 week worth of wins. It's just like, goodbye, my smug horse boy.
Oh yeah.
Victor goes to the stables in the sky.
I'm glad. Get him out of here.
No, I did well this skirmish season because of him. I need my small victories, Bill.
I can't believe you joined the bourgeoisie.
Blame Jesse.
All right.
Blame the good Guardian players in our area.
I neglected to play in any skirmishes. This, it was a down season for me, which is great because Rosetta has picked me back up, and now I'm excited.
Well, I also can't blame you because, like, half of the top tables at, like, everything that I played was Zen, Rhinar, and Blaze. Those matchups are not the most fun.
No. It was a super coin flippy.
Yeah, Zen, it's like with Victor, you pocket the disruption, try to get the disruption as optimal time, and then if they're breaking for a little bit, just don't attack and don't give an opportunity to use their traverse. And it just feels very weird. But I think that format's going to be in a fun place with Rosetta. Like, I'm excited to see what the Earth Heroes can do in that, because it's like the half restriction instead of like the full restriction of 8.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're dealing with a format where you can consistently doing 2 of them will get you there. I think that is a fun opportunity there, but
I think it's pretty easy to achieve too. I like it with a crafted deck, because you've got the D-React, you've got for either of them Red Cadaverous. You're gonna run both Plow Under and Felling of the Crown. Like, you've got a decent number.
You mean Command and Compost?
Yeah, Command and Compost. That card is.
It's such a fun name.
I like that it's just uninteractable. It just says "fuck you." This is what's happening.
And it's yellow, right?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. That's just wild. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to do a prevention effect for the blue. I'm like, that's pretty good. A blue pitch that's Earth seems good.
Yep.
I mean, back in the day, it's just like, that's exactly what you needed for Briar to be like, hey, CMH, we're BFFs. Our relationship is on the mends. We're going to stay together. You can't leave me.
Think about those cards in Terra.
Ooh. Terra, I really want an adult Terra. I'm hoping that the Guardian thing will give us an adult Terra. Definitely. Because if not, I have to just play with my cool Cold Foil Might token that has him on it and not have any greenery in my deck. I think I need the greenery in the deck for it to make sense.
So this dovetails into our last question that you had posed, and this is: who in the Flesh and Blood universe or the world of Wraith would give the best cuddles? And I think Terra is a big one, right? Big guy, big arms, keeps you nice and tight, looks a little like Santa.
He seems like a lover, not a fighter as well.
Yes.
And that's where my logic was coming into this with as well. Like, I went for Bravo. Like, he is the showstopper. It's like, oh, Bravo's here. I've gotta dress nicely, gotta break out some popcorns, and then we're going to watch The Greatest Showman.
I don't think Bravo cuddles. I think Bravo fucks and leaves.
The showstopper. Bam!
Right? Hits with the hammer and then pieces out. Nothing about that man says cuddler.
I could see Azuri as a cuddler, but it's like, no, you're cuddling. You're not going to fucking say no. You're cuddling whether or not you like it or not.
Plus her coat looks so warm.
Oh, yeah, it looks fuzzy. I'm trying to think of other characters that would be good cuddlers.
Okay. Cilio. Because
he's so big.
Because I grew up with the Brave Little Toaster, and he's basically Blanky.
When you said Brave Little Toaster, I was like, wait, he can't fit in the tub. Fucking hell. Ooh, Fizzy and Skloof. 100%.
Swizzy and Flip.
Cuddly. It's literally Santa. I think Bolton would cuddle after the act. I think Bolton's like a tender lover.
Oh, 100%. I mean, wait, no, actually, he would never complete the act. His wife is in a necklace.
Ah, no, but you see, I'm gonna steal his wife with Kyloria. His wife belongs to the dragons.
I think Dash is a cuddler, but only robots.
I think she'd also bring like tech into the bedroom. She'd be like, this is a partnership between man and machine. This must be harmonious.
Techlo Industries is actually just Hitachi.
They've got every single line. They're like, here's the wand, here's the freaking bulldozer, here's a truck.
I'm telling you, rotary ram.
Techlo pounder. This is why we shouldn't be allowed to do this, Bill.
Right.
It's going to be like, what's the least monetizable like group of people for this game? The two people that say too much. although I don't think there's too many heroes that would be good cuddlers, I do think there is an opportunity for us to talk a little bit about what we might want in the future from the game. Whether it is more cuddly characters or different cards or things like that we might like.
My number one thing, and I say it all the time, I want a draconic mechanologist with a flamethrower. That's it.
That would be interesting.
That's all I want. My idea for it, and this is free to you LSS, is that boosting counts towards rupture, and like boosting counts as draconic cards for rupture, and draconic cards count as mechanologist cards for boosting. So that way you just get both of the card pools instantly. There you go. Because the rupture cards are unused.
Yeah, they don't really have too much of a home right now.
So
since Fi can't do anything right now,
right?
I feel so bad for Fi.
So like I feel like that'd be a great way to bring that into the pool, and I think flamethrower is dope.
So I do agree with you on the draconic side. I do have like a few, like, I have a conspiracy theory, and you've heard me talk about it before with draconic stuff. We're going to get a draconic hero back at some time. There's been mention in interviews that we will get draconic illusionist back. Now, my crackpot theory is, why do we keep getting all those dust? Why do they keep giving us these dusts, even post, like, LL? The logical reason is to say, well, they're pushing LL upcoming. They're going to need it just for options. I think it's going to be like, new Dromai. Boom. Mommy's back. Boom. She's pissed. Based. Thank you, James. I am here for Mommy Dromai. It's 90% of the reason why I play Illusionist. The other 10% is Mommy Prism. But what if they use those nice old dusts and say, you know what? We'll play this dust. Bada bing, bada boom. Dromai effect happens. Poof. You're Chromai. You just out of nowhere just turn it into Chromai.
Yeah, sort of like the Prism does, where you flip and get a...
Yeah, or like even like the extra deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like it feels like really out there, but it's like, what if we just got to do dumb shit again? I mean, I love Dromai, so I would love to do more dumb shit. That's one of my theories, and I'm hoping that we get some type of confirmation with my crackpot theory at Worlds when they start talking about 5th anniversary stuff and the celebrations behind that.
Well, here's your Market Monday. Go buy all the dusts now. They're less than $1.
I gotta keep buying Channel Lake Frigids. Or as I call them, Channel Lake Fuckboys. Because it's literally all that happened to me when I played against those decks. But unfortunately, I think it is needed now in the game. The other theory that I'd like is more of just a crapshoot that I think would be amazing. I'm not a big fan of Warrior, but give me a Meep that's a Warrior, like Redwall style. Fucking thrilled.
All right.
Put a little dagger with the Meep, be like, give me your money, put it in a bag. I'm gonna glint the Quicksilver. I think that would be fucking great.
As a big mouse guard fan, I would love that. If we can get an alt art done by David Peterson, I'm sold.
Locked in. I think I would lock into that immediately. Like some type of Meep hero. I think Warrior would work well for a Meep, but like maybe that or like a Thief. I mean, we do have all that stuff from the original like book that came out back in the day that folks are still able to win through some events. Like, I know everyone talks about Necromancer and stuff, but like, I would like that Cleric class. Just give me Cleric. Cleric seems fun.
Just count your blessings.
Yeah. Count your blessings and truce is the Cleric class. Which I don't know if is a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a horrible thing. I'm terrified of this new meta.
I'm excited. Because Enigma just gets to do dumb crap. Like, my biggest concern with Enigma at the time is, like, dealt with, like, you had to commit a lot of text bots to dealing with Zen. Like, yay, I can put other text bots in here instead of Amnesia. Put in things like Erase Face, or I can put in that new generic 3 for 7 that can't be blocked by auras. Like, That seems good for
Facade.
tournament.
I ended up pulling like 6 of those in my 2 cases. I'm super mad about it.
Do you have any foils left?
Maybe. I'll check later.
I only need 1 more foil. But I like through the cut through the facade because you want to know what's an aura? Channel Lightning Valley. Do you want to know what's an aura? Channel Mount Heroic. I want to target those suckers. I don't care if it's good or not. I just want to deal with that crap.
Because Channel Lightning Valley doesn't have a block value on it, right? Because it's an instant.
That might be true. I think you might be right on that.
I think Mount Heroic does.
Yeah, I think Mount Heroic has a block value of 3. I'm too lazy to look at my bind.
Yeah,
I don't want to upset the Blahage.
Their required Blahage.
Yeah, it's like, everyone's getting Blahages. I got my Blahage before I even knew it was a thing. Like, I just went to IKEA and was like, I want the shark. I don't know why, but I want the shark. And then, like, 2 months later, Twitter's just like, apparently it's a trans thing. And I was like, sweet. My Blahage has many other Blahage friends now within the world.
Swedish shark pride.
Correct. Well, I think it's because it's technically the flag colors with the mouth, the tummy, and its color. And I mean, IKEA Canada did some cool stuff where they ended up for, I think, post-op, like, they would give folks, like, while they're recovering from, like, GRS, like, or SRS, whichever the term, I forget, they would give them, like, inverted color Blahages. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
That's awesome.
Why did I have to go to Hopkins?
Right?
Why did I have to go to the back door? But if folks have stayed around long enough to listen to us ramble, this is kind of just how we converse all the time. There's no thought process. We have minor quotes just to keep us on topic, because if not, Bill and I would probably talk about trains or Scooby-Doo all day.
Yep.
And
We expected
it's
half
not
an
a train.
hour. We hit an hour.
It's not a train podcast. Holy crap, you're right. It is an hour.
Yes.
Well, if folks do have suggestions for us down the line, we'd love to hear them. Thanks for putting up with our crass nature and our goofy nature. If you see at events, always say hi. Bunch of people that we chat with see at events mainly. So it's like, it's a nice way to catch up with folks. Much love to the people that I see at events regularly. Hope everyone's doing well. And hopefully we don't see you at the bottom tables, but see you at the top tables.
Have a good one. Bye.